What's good, everyone? You're listening to On Our Level with Sam and David, talking all things casual drinking, gaming, media, and entertainment. Good evening, Sam. How are you? I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah,
good.
You know, just a good midweek evening recording session. Nothing better.
Love it. It splits the week up a little bit. So this week, we are talking about a couple of different first-person shooter games that have released very recently. We had Xbox's, I believe it was Xbox's 20th anniversary. I think it was last week. And surprise, surprise, they released the multiplayer for Halo Infinite a little bit early because it was meant to be November. It was the end of November, I think.
Early December.
December 8th.
Yeah.
Because I think it was meant to come out with a campaign. But they released it, complete surprise to everyone. And they, on their little live stream, they're like, right, you can go play it now. And I was like, okay, I'm installing that right now. But yeah, before we get into all that good stuff, what are you drinking this evening, Sam?
Well, I just had my first sip. It is going back to the Glenfiddich that I've got.
Very nice.
As usual, just straight 3 cubes, nice steady after your dinner on a Tuesday. What about yourself? What you bought?
On a school night. So I've got another new one. I feel like I've got like a new one every week at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
So I just saw it in Tesco. I was like, I've had the normal version of this, and I've seen an advert for this around. I was like, I might as well just give it a go because it was like £15 or something. So I'm drinking Hague Club Mediterranean Orange. Just a little bit.
Is Hague?
It's David
Beckham one. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you see adverts on it all the time on TV, and it's just his face just drinking Hague Club whiskey. But yeah, I've had the normal stuff of it, but I haven't actually tried the orange stuff, so hopefully it'll be quite nice. Right, let's get into it. So yeah, as I said, Xbox had their 20th year anniversary celebration, and they released the multiplayer for Halo Infinite. I have been playing it so much. And I don't know about you, but as I said before, I'm a massive like Halo fan. So I've literally been playing it non-stop, like lunch breaks, after work. I'll be playing it before I start work. I'll play it a little bit as well. But yeah, I'm proper hooked. Have you been playing it much at all?
I played it a bit. See, I'm the opposite. I was never a big fan. Well, that's a lie. I never played it properly back in the day when it was massive. Like it was the game to play on Xbox. Never played it. Literally never, up until my first game on it the other day, not touched it.
And what did you think? Did you enjoy it? Like the bit that you played? Yeah.
I think it's one of the smoothest feeling FPS games that I've played that's away from your standard Call of Duty, Battlefield kind of mechanics and feels that I've played for a long time. I mean, it reminds me of Destiny. I did play Destiny. I know Destiny's made by Bungie, but it's even, again, it feels ever so slightly smoother. So, yeah. I mean, I think the gameplay is great. I think the pace is great. I think the style of the game is great. And we're only on the beta, so it can only get better, right?
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, as they said, this is definitely their, like, beta release of it. And you can kind of tell that from, like, the content that they've got in there at the moment. Normal, like, people who will know about Halo will know that, like, Halo 3 released with, like, loads of different modes. So you've got Slayer, which is just team deathmatch. You've got Oddball, which is, like, you've got to hold the ball for a certain amount of time.
I like that mode. I think it's a really interesting game.
I don't.
Game mode.
I absolutely hate it. Especially, I really don't like the fact that you can't search for a specific game mode. You have to join a lobby searching for a group of different game modes. So they've released with Quick Match, which is Slayer, Oddball, Capture the Flag, Strongholds, which is like your conquest, like domination in Call of Duty and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they've got Quick Match, which is like unranked. Then they've got Ranked, which is the same game modes again, but you're playing as ranked. You can't just search for a ranked like team deathmatch, which I find really annoying. And then they've got Big Teams, which is I think it's like 24 people a side, I think, or it's 2 teams of like 16. I need to double check that, but yeah, it's big team. It's like 2 big teams against each other on huge maps with vehicles and stuff. It's just classic Halo. It's nice coming back to it, like all the things that they've added to it. Like they've got a new grapple hook and stuff like that, all the new weapons, but you have all the classics like the energy sword and the rocket launchers and stuff. And it feels solid, like very smooth, very quick gameplay. Like the kill to death, your kill time is so much quicker than like Call of Duty. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It is just a shame about the XP and stuff like that. Like progression is kind of broken at the moment.
I mean, I'd touch upon the what you said about the game modes all being linked in together. Now, I assume, I don't know, I've not played Halo before, but I assume with ranks it will be the same throughout, right? They'll put in random modes and maps just because I think that's the most even playing field way you can do it.
Yeah,
and I think it's quite good because it judges all-round ability. It wouldn't surprise me if once the game is fully released, the cycle of maps will change and the modes will change. But yeah, I imagine that's the case later on. But I guess I'm assuming the beta is currently the way it is so that they can get testing and feedback and reports of bugs, etc., like you do with most games.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just going to be extended. It's so fun. It is really fun.
It is so much fun. And as I've said, the fact that I'm so hooked on it. And I think that is also because of, like, as I said before, I'm a sucker for challenges and all that kind of stuff. And a downside of the beta that's happening at the moment is that there is a lot of feedback from players about the XP and progression. And basically, at the very, very start, when it was released last week, I jumped on it straight away. And they had kind of like you wouldn't get XP for how well you played. You would just get 50 XP for playing a game. And then that would ramp up. So you'd play one game, get 50 XP. Play another game, you get 50 XP. But then it would stop and go like, you'd have to play 2 games to get that 50 XP. And it would go up and up like that. So it was just really rough. And especially with the other challenges they've got, some of them are insane. Like some of them, you have to be playing on a specific map and a specific game mode on a specific map. And it's very tricky to rinse your like battle pass, because obviously I've also bought the premium battle pass as well, because like I bought it straight away. I was like, I can see myself playing a lot of this. I might as well just go for it. So
the one thing I think about it is, what's the possibility that they've done that purely because it's a beta, and then come the release of the game, it might be different? That's my thinking. But I know they've actually come out and said something about it since, because people are getting so funny about it.
Yeah. So I was going to mention that. So I think it must have been the other day. 343, who are the developers of it, came out and said, we've listened to the user feedback. We're going to adjust it. So what they did was, they've actually had to kind of clear, I can't remember how, it's hard to explain. They've basically cleared your challenge history. So like challenges that you needed to do, they've actually gotten rid of them. And because if you complete all of your challenges, you can get a challenge item at the end of completing all of them. And basically people were like, well, I can't do that now because there's not enough time. You've reset my progress. So 343 are actually going to be giving that item away to everyone who signs in. I think it was signs in on the 23rd of November to like the 30th of December or something. Anyone who signs in gets that item. But I've already rinsed all the challenges and I got the items. But yeah, I've sweated it. I've sweated it a lot. But it is cool. And the fact that they've also got this new event that's come out today, because I think you mentioned this to me just before we started. I had no idea that they dropped this event. I was out doing the shopping, and then you sent me a message going, they've got their first event. I was like,
and it's the event has its own challenges.
Yes.
And it has its own battle pass by the looks of it, kind of style thing. And it's all free. You don't have to pay for this one, which I think is good. It incentivizes people to go back and play it. But I mean, just go back to the game as a whole. From someone who's never played Halo before, I like it a lot. And like I said, I played Destiny 2 and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I get similar feels, but it's ever so slightly smoother.
Yeah.
I think The one thing I would say is they made the best decision, I think, delaying it, because if it was like this now, I imagine a year ago, it just wouldn't have been anywhere near what it is.
No.
I'm also very excited for the campaign as well. I'm struggling with single player campaigns at the moment, not seeming to find enough. I played Outriders recently, but that hopefully will throw it in. It's just a shame that co-op mode isn't going to be in there from the start, because I've heard that's going to be delayed until spring next year.
Yeah. There's a lot that I think I heard yesterday, actually, that they've announced that they're going to be delaying Forge mode co-op campaign, and there was another core part of it as well. I think it might have even been custom games that they've delayed until, I think it was actually May 2022, sometime around that time. But yeah,
that's how long the first season of the Battle Pass is going to be,
which is insane. When you think about a Battle Pass, like a Battle Pass season, I think of like Fortnite, and that kind of goes, I think it's maybe like 2 months or something. 10 weeks, which is a good amount of time. And then when I checked the Battle Pass, my Battle Pass on Halo Infinite, and it said, oh yeah, it runs from November, whenever it was, November 17th until this May 2022. I was like, oh my God.
They've really still now.
They've really stretched it out. I'm going to have no content. I'm going to have no content at all. To be fair, I'm already up to like Battle Pass level 14, and that's pretty good for the like challenges that are out there at the moment. But yeah, the new event, as you said, it's got that kind of Battle Pass progression that's free, and that really reminds me of how Call of Duty do their like Halloween events, where they've got a list of items that you can unlock from playing the Battle Royale version. But yeah, it's called Fracture Tenrai, and I probably absolutely butchered that. Runs from 23rd of November to the 30th, and I don't know if you haven't seen the video for it, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm gonna rinse this. It's like, I think that's like a week or something that this event is going to be out for, which I feel is really short, like really short. But the armor that they've got is sweet. They've got like this proper samurai, like yoni armor, where it's like proper samurai stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, love it. I love that kind of stuff. But
it'll be interesting to see what they do with the skins of this game.
Yes,
because there's endless possibilities. Because I think when the game's fresh, you can get real hype around them.
Yeah, you could go either like the completely ridiculous, like you could go the Fortnite route and just make it insane, or they could keep it a bit more grounded. I have seen a little. I think they had like some insight, like screenshots about what some of the things they're going to be doing. So there was some of this Japanese armor stuff, and then there was like a cyberpunk update where I think I saw like a hologram mohawk on one of the characters and stuff. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm very excited about the future content that they're going to release, because they'll add more maps, they'll add more game modes. I'm pretty sure they'll add more like separation between the game modes as well. So like you could queue in and just play Slayer, or you could do ranked like by yourself on Slayer and other game modes and stuff like that. But,
and of course, will they do a battle royale?
Yes, that is a big question, isn't it? Because I feel like the campaign is going to be well, I think it's open world. It looks open world, but
really.
Yeah, it looks very open world, but I'm not too sure if it is or not.
Right.
But yeah, the fact that it's a big open area will kind of cater to that like shrinking circle battle royale game. But who knows? Who knows? They could jump on the bandwagon, or they could just do their own thing like Halo does.
I think that'd be silly not to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
like it would make so much. I'd just be so surprised if they don't at some point.
Yeah, it would make perfect sense for them to do it. It makes more sense for them to do it than Forza Horizon 5 has a Battle Royale mode.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that they've got that, if Halo doesn't have one, then that's insane.
It's criminal.
It's absolutely criminal. But I think that's enough of Halo, because I will literally go on about it all night.
I mean, look, it deserves its fair share of this FPS episode, because it's been a long, long time. People that are big fans of the games, the Halo franchise, are so happy that this has come about. It's taken an extra year. It's really good, and I highly recommend anybody that hasn't played it before to jump in and give it a shot. It's so smooth. It's so fun. I mean, you've got to take some of the setup with a pinch of salt because it is still in the beta mode. But come early December, pre-Christmas, it will be a completely fresh new game. And at the end of the day, the multiplayer is completely free. So why the hell not?
Yeah.
Just go try it.
Yeah, we've said this before about free games. It's like you might as well give it a go. But
it wasn't huge either.
No, the download wasn't that. No, I don't.
It's 30. Mind you, then again, there's only a certain number of.
I think it might be 30 because I remember we were talking about download size for like the Battlefield as well. But yeah, that's enough of Halo. Go give it a go. If you're a Halo fan, absolutely give it a shot. But if you're not, it's a different kind of first-person shooter. It's not like Call of Duty. It's not your classic Call of Duty.
It's very hip-firey.
Very.
All your gunfight, I'd say 75% of my gunfights are hip-fire.
Yeah.
If not more, probably 80. It's really bizarre, but it's fun.
And it's very tactical, especially on ranked.
Yeah. Because there's a delay to the respawn as well, which is like quite unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good game.
But enough of Halo. We've got two more games that we're going to talk about, which have had kind of free-to-play weekends and a demo. I believe it's a demo. It's kind
of like a trial period.
Yeah, a trial. So first one, Battlefield 2042. So I personally have only played, I think it was maybe like 3 games. I played with you and our friends, Charles and Darren. But I enjoyed it, but it was lacking something, but I can't put my finger on it.
I think I'd start by saying there was a lot of hype around this game. There was a big hype. Yeah. I mean, it had been a while since Battlefield had done a modern game.
Yeah.
So I think the previous one was Battlefield 5, then Battlefield 1, both World War I, World War II games. And I'm pretty certain they stretched their games over a 2-3 year period, 4-year period, not 1 year cycles.
Yeah.
So it had probably been at least 6 years since the last modern one. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The first thing I saw after obviously if you buy some of these ultimate versions of it or the legendary versions, you get early access to the game. And there'd been a few kind of murmurs around online about it being very, very buggy and not quite living up to expectation. But obviously, I mean, you take some of those with a pinch of salt and we jumped in. I don't know where to start, really. As soon as I booted it up, it had been so long since I played a Battlefield, I wasn't familiar with the UI. I struggled with it quite a lot. You've got a lot of different operators and kind of guns within that to buy. They've changed kind of the system of buying guns in some of the modes where, in particular, the Tarkov-esque mode, which actually, by the way, I do think is quite fun and we'll get onto.
Yeah.
The way you kind of buy those guns and you have to have a certain amount of credits in the previous game, that's a kind of new way of playing. I don't know, I just really struggled with the whole UI, including looking at the settings and trying to set up my controller for the first time. It was tough.
I had no idea what I was looking at.
No.
And because I feel like Battlefield has its own unique UI. Like when you're playing a Battlefield game, you kind of know that it's Battlefield. It doesn't really share any common UI standards of any other game.
Or its controls as well.
Or its controls, yeah. But it was extremely buggy when we were playing it. There was some point the character models,
bottom lip was inside out.
I was wearing which operator was I using? I think it was the one with the ghillie suit, and when it loaded, you could see all of our character models, and my guy was just stood there like this, and then he had kind of the ghillie suit were flat textures all around his face and stuff. I was like. And it was there for a while. If it was there and then loaded straight away, I'd kind of get it because I'm on a past gen console. But it was just a bit buggy. And I've seen loads of videos and people just ranting about it. But
it's a little bit frustrating. I remember jumping into the mode. Now the other thing, it's not a cross-generation game, which is the same as FIFA.
Ridiculous.
So when I jumped onto it on the Xbox Series X version of the game, I couldn't join you lot on the Xbox One, which was frustrating.
Very.
the other thing I wanted to make note of is as soon as I jumped into the game on the Xbox One version, I felt the maps were, again, only played the Tarkov mode, which I think is Hazard Zone.
Yeah, that's it.
I just thought the maps were very mundane. There was lack of textures. It was very plain and open and bland, which I actually remember every time I jumped into a battle game thinking how incredibly good looking the game was previously. I would consider it a very good looking game, way ahead of I'd consider other FPSs like Call of Duty. More attractive. This one was the complete opposite. I don't know why, but it just didn't look like one of their trademark Battlefield games.
Yeah, it might be to do with the fact that, like, obviously we're past gen now. Like, we're past generation in consoles. You're on the new gen. So it might have been a fact that they were catering to those newer generation of consoles and pushing it as much as they can. And then due to the fact that past generation consoles couldn't handle it as well, they must have just turned off all that, like, extra, like, juice, which we call it in the game industry. But,
yeah, sure. And I think you're right, because when I jumped on the Xbox Series X version, the game looks stunning, stunning. The minute details are crazy, and actually didn't bump into half as many bugs. And it was fun to play, but it's just a shame it's not universal. It kind of reminds me back when Call of Duty Ghosts was released, right? And it was that was, I think, the Call of Duty that I remember being on both consoles. Yeah. And I just remember it just wasn't the same. There was a lot of hype around the newer version, but on the old console, I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just get similar kind of vibes, but I'm sure DICE will pull it out of the bag somehow.
I reckon so.
They will. And I mean, I know they've come out and said they're not going to do a Battle Royale. It's a shame because I thought Battlefield is one of the games that I think is best suited, gameplay-wise, to have a Battlefield. But Firestorm never really kicked off on Battlefield 5.
I was going to ask what that was called, because I don't think I actually ever played Firestorm.
No.
I think I played a couple of games of Battlefield 5, but I never played Firestorm. Because, yeah, you're right, Battlefield, that is the game where you think it would be best. Like Call of Duty, obviously that's a huge one at the moment with Warzone, but Battlefield, you've got all of the beautiful, like, scenery and stuff, but not in this game.
No,
not in this game.
It's just a shame. But again, I think a lot of these games have come out earlier than they probably would have wanted to in terms of where they're at. Like, you look at Halo's a year late. I think Battlefield did get delayed a month, and there's not everything that is going to be on that game out yet. Yeah. The other thing Battlefield has done, they made it a full paid game still. So it'd be interesting to see how they balance up against all of these free games. I think there'll be, with a lot of the games that are released now, there'll be a slow trickle of releases of stuff. And that's probably a range of issues in terms of timing that we've had over coronavirus, lack of stock for new consoles, which means they're going to have to compensate by still supplying older generations for probably another year or two as well. So that's probably going to be at the forefront of their minds. So we'll just see. It'll be a very interesting year, I think, or two, until the chip shortage is sorted out anyway.
Yeah, it is tricky, isn't it? Because the fact that you've said that Battlefield, it is a full-priced game. Like, I don't know how much. I haven't actually bought like a physical copy of a game in so long, but it's like 60. Is it 60 quid?
60 quid, yeah.
60 quid. And I know a couple of our friends have already bought Battlefield, and we were there chilling on the trial, and I was like, I'm so happy I've got this trial, and I didn't buy it.
Do you know what's good as well is if you've got a Series X, you can get a 10-hour trial on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X version.
I was going to ask. Because you said that you've downloaded the trial for the Xbox. Yeah, wow.
Because I played the Xbox One, and then I played about an hour and a half the other night of the Xbox Series X one. And it was like, you've only used an hour and a half of your thing. And I was like, wait a minute. So you get about 20 hours. Which
20 hours. That's a lot.
Four full days of gameplay.
That's
and
a lot.
The other thing is that your progression transfers across all of them, which is great. I think I'll buy it eventually, this game, 100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
But right now, there's so much out there to play at the moment. It's great. I love these times of the year. And this is kind of why it's an FPS season special, because they're all releasing. And actually, it leads us quite nicely on. We'll go on to the last one, which is Vanguard. I mean, free weekend, like you said, it came out on, I think, maybe a week or two ago now, or maybe a while. Free weekend for multiplayer from Friday to Monday. My initial views, the UI was exactly the same as Modern Warfare, and I was a bit like, okay, not a lot has changed there.
Exactly the same.
I really like the way you kit out a weapon now. You can use every single attachment slot and put as much on a gun as you want, which I think is great. You can literally change your weapon to be anything. I think it's really cool. And when it comes, the new Warzone, I think that will have a big play on how to play the game with what loadout or whatever. The perks have been completely revamped, which is cool. I noticed now that if you want to see someone on a mini-map as a red blip, there's a perk for it now. You can't see it without that perk, which I thought was... Yeah, that's big.
That's quite cool.
There's some interesting modes where you've got 24 versus 24 in a TDM kind of style mode. They're bigger maps. It's interesting, but countering all that, the first game I jumped in, I wanted to rip my hair out. It's too fast. I think I'm a bit past the pace of Call of Duties personally.
You're getting old, Sam. That's what that is. It's like you can't keep up with the quick triggers of all these like kids playing Call of Duty.
I think Modern Warfare, the most recent one, did a really good job at reinvigorating the game. They brought out Warzone, which was I think really fun for a period of time, and I still have fun on the Rebirth mode, which is a kind of blend of
it's like
Respawn.
condensed, isn't it? It's a condensed version of Warzone. I
think that's really fun. And like I said, they brought in the gunfight and a load of other bits. I think they did really well. It's kind of gone back to that plateau where it's very samey, not a lot has changed. It's tough because I don't want to say it's a dying brand because I think every once in a while I'll always go back and buy one at some point. But it is starting to slow, I think, personally. It's just not as appealing as it was.
The problem with Vanguard is that it's very kind of the whole kind of era that it's set in is very much like World War II, and Call of Duty have already done Call of Duty World War II, and that was a great game. Like I think that's honestly one of my favorite Call of Duties, World War II. But yeah, I'm exactly the same. I played one game of it, and I hated it just because it was so quick, and I think that's honestly because I played so much Halo. And it's a very different FPS.
Floaty,
it's much more of a floaty, like, feeling game. But Call of Duty was just too quick for me. Like, I feel like I'd spawn and die and just keep doing that over and over again and get the odd kill. But
there are some very small maps on that game.
I played
very
one.
Small.
What was it called? It might have been Das House or something.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it was... I think it was like Das House 24/7. Like it was just that map on this one game mode or whatever. But I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I didn't go and play another game because it just left such a sour taste in my mouth. And it was also because the UI is exactly the same. There's no excitement. Like when you pick up a new game, you want it to be slightly
doesn't feel
different.
new.
No,
like
it just when I was looking at the main menu, the difference, all I could see was the UI was the same, but the angle of what it was looking at your character was different. And that was kind of it. And to pay 60 quid again for just something that is kind of similar to something I've played before, it just doesn't sit well with me. Saying that, I did just play one game of Das House and got absolutely torn to shreds. So that's probably why I was a bit salty about it. But
and also, why would you buy it when the Warzone is free anyway?
Yeah.
So, and you know there's a new map coming, and I think the new engine will be suited to it. So it's for me, if it's not really grabbing my attention, I'm not going to buy it.
I wonder what the campaign's going to be like though, because I haven't seen anything about the campaign, and also
I haven't either,
and also zombies, because apparently they've overhauled the zombies stuff for Vanguard, and apparently that's quite good. But
it's the same people that did the World War II zombies, right? So
which was great. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But I hopefully there'll be some more stuff to come. I don't know. I'll keep a look into Vanguard because I do like that kind of style of gunfighting. So like Call of Duty World War II, Battlefield 1. Those are kind of like my go-to. But,
and I think the game engine, and the type of guns, and it feels like it's a little bit longer to kill than Modern Warfare, ever so slightly. So I think that engine and style of play for the new Warzone map, which I must add, I think looks very cool.
I don't think I've seen the news Warzone
A lot
map.
of foliage going on. It feels kind of like Vietnam / World War II kind of style areas. It looks good. I think it will do well. And when that comes out, no doubt I'll be playing some Warzone and giving it a go, because I do like a battle royale, and I think it's a slightly different pace to other ones. But I mean, it just continues the game is continuing the COD feel, but it's just a bit meh, is how I would describe it.
It's hitting that kind of like sweet spot where it's like, you know, it's Call of Duty, but it's something different. You kind of want to be in the kind of area in the middle.
With like a touch of nostalgia as well.
Yeah.
I think that's something they need to start incorporating, because those rebranded or refreshed maps are quite a big pull sometimes, I'd say.
I was going to ask about that as well. Like, I think they might have brought 1 or 2 maps over into Vanguard, but they've styled them as like
Shipment.
I think I saw Shipment. It'll be interesting to see what they do and kind of like see if they can revitalize it a bit more. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to play Halo for the rest of the year, if I'm honest, and probably a lot into next year. So I think that's a good place to round it off. We've gone through a couple of good games that have come out recently. So we are, because we're on Spotify, we've been doing these kind of like community questions and stuff like that. So our community question for today's session is, what has been your favorite or best game of 2021? And I haven't seen it at the moment, but like there's a space in Spotify where you can drop your answers and all that good stuff. And we'll also put some stuff on our socials like Instagram
and YouTube as well.
And YouTube
in the comments,
now.
drop them in there, because we're coming up to that time of year now. We're gonna copy everybody else, right? It's that time of year. You do your top 5 of the year. We're gonna do your games, your TV, your music. We're gonna run them down. We're gonna look at some of your feedback. And then, on our levels, top 5 video games of 2021.
Watch this space. But as I said, I think that's a good place to round it off. How was your? Was it Glenfiddich?
Yeah.
Was it
12? Same one. I think 12. I had two, 3 episodes ago. Like I said, I've refined my collection now to a solid 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
condense it down.
Yeah, I'm on a good kind of point where I've got my selection. I know every time it's going to be right on the spot. And at this kind of time, what is it? 7:30 in the evening, just before bed, just after dinner.
Lovely.
Cleanses it all. Right, now come on, tell me about yours as well. How was that?
It was quite nice. I kind of get what is it? Is it a whiskey? Not whiskey sour. Old fashioned kind of like vibe.
What was the name again?
Well, it's Hague Club.
Yes,
it's
the hint of the orange.
Yeah, Mediterranean orange. But yeah, it's quite nice. It's just whiskey, but it's kind of got that hint of like orange and zest to it, which is quite nice. It's not like a winter drink. It is more of a summer drink, which is probably why it was reduced in price. But it was quite nice. As I said, it was kind of more of the old-fashioned taste where you've got like the orange peel and stuff in that. But it's quite nice. I'll drink it again. It won't go down the plug hole. It's quite nice. It's quite good. But anyway, we'll leave it there. As I said, we'll be posting on our socials and all that good stuff. Just like, comment, subscribe now that we're on YouTube. That's the first time I've said that. That felt weird. But we'll keep you guys in the loop with stuff we're doing, and we'll see you next time. I've been David.
And I've been Sam.
And take it easy, because you're now on a level.